Greetings, TBC1 viewers. Welcome to Focus on This Week. This is a program that offers crucial and significant discussions on weekly and current dominating events so as to influence positive change in Tanzania, in Africa, and in the world at large. Leading the program, I am your host, Caroline Maleo, and we'll be together every Wednesday on this program. Today, actually, we are going to discuss about a topic titled Road Accidents in Tanzania, Can Collaborative Action End the Crisis? And to dive deep into the topic, we are joined with Mr. Augustus Fungo, who is a chairperson of LATRA Consumer Consultative Council and also a member of the National Road Safety Council. You're mostly welcome.
Thank you.
But we're also joined with Neema Swai, who is a member of the National Road Safety Council as well, just like Mr. Augustus, yes. But also a representative from a road safety NGO. You're mostly welcome. Thank you. And actually, before we dive deep into the discussion for today, it is very important to understand how important and how critical the issue of road safety and road accidents is in Tanzania. As we have seen the report that has been published by the police, and we can actually find this online. When I was preparing for the program, I actually took time to go and read the report. And then I realized that in 2023, for the whole year, we experienced 1,118 deaths that were caused by road accidents. But also in 2024, there were 1,715 deaths that were caused by road accident. But surprisingly, coming to 2025, we witnessed 1,275 road accident deaths in just 4 months. And we could hear this from President Samia Suluhu Hassan as she explained this week. What is not happening? Why do we have so many deaths in just 4 months if we compare it to other years? Take it, Mr. Fungo.
Oh, thank you very much. Actually, we don't have a single cause for traffic crashes that are happening in the country. And in fact, I'll be using the term crash rather than accident purposely. Yeah, so historically, we have known 3 major causes. The human factor, accounting for more than 76%. We have the environmental factor, and then we have the motor vehicle factor. So those factors, we have had them since 1970s, and we have been dealing with them, but you see, whenever we do because the council also does crashes investigation, whenever they happen, especially the major ones, like the one that happened in Mbeya. Most of our findings tell us that it's human error. It's human error, and in the form of maybe driver error. Sometimes it's a human error in the forms of incompetence of a driver, or sometimes some other things that are related. And then we have very few crashes that happen due to mechanical defects, because we have made a step towards that. So even if you check the statistics, you find that those type of crashes have gone low. And then we have another hidden factor with low percentage, but it contributes to major casualties, fatalities and injuries. That is the environment, that's the road factor, which you may be told that it only accounts for 80%. Yeah, so with those historical reasons for the causes of the crashes that we continue to deal with through various interventions, there hides something related to the road factor itself. Yeah, so like the world now has moved from the 3 factors going to what is called the safe systems approach. That means we have to approach the problem of road crashes in its holistic manner. When we talk of the safe systems approach, in fact, we are referring to 5 pillars.
What are those?
The first one is the road safety management. The second one is the environment, the road environment, it is roadside. And the third one is the human one, which is safe people, it's about people. And then the other one is about the motor vehicles. the safety of the motor vehicle, and the last one is the post-crash response and care. So these 5 pillars, if one of they form a system, a road safety system. So if one of the pillars breaks down, then you find fatalities. Yeah. So we are now shifting from addressing the 3 factors, especially the human factor, which mostly is blame the driver, towards the larger, the wide concept, which is not widely understood. But to answer your question precisely, most of the crashes are due to human errors or to human factor. And from there now we can break down what causes those errors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fungo. To you, Neema Swai, can you tell us what causes these road accidents? He actually explained that human errors are the leading ones, but what's not happened? Is it because there are no rules to guide these people, or there are rules but people are not following the rules? What's actually happening?
Thank you, Ms. Caroline. Adding to what Mr. Fungo just explained very well and very clearly, there's a number of factors, but as you've mentioned, is it about not taking responsibilities when it comes to implementing the law, or what is not happening? Again, coming back to Mr. Fungo, it is a number of factors blended together that we can really say it is because of one. It is because of not following the laws. Because if, again, we're going to say it is because of not following the road traffic laws, it's human error again. Because it's people. They are the enforcers. Then again, we will come again to what Mr. Fungo was talking about. We need safe system approach. If it is about the law, then it's about the not enforcing well. What do we need? Do we need these enforcers of law to be empowered more, to get more training? Then, coming back to your question, why now we are seeing more accidents, more crashes, as Mr. Fungo have suggested we use, and yes, please let us use the word crash instead of accidents. Why now crashes? Maybe, let me ask you again, is it maybe not because now we have started to put an eye on the road crashes, is where now we have started to see the numbers increasing? Are we sure that it wasn't because we were missing some statistics before?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I also want to hear from you. You are telling us that probably maybe there are statistics that we were missing before, and now maybe you have started to put the focus. Probably yes, probably no. But let's talk about the National Council that you're coming from. What is your responsibility? Why do we have these accidents increasing? Or is it that your council is working, so now we are seeing that these accidents are being recognized, or are being, like, the voice is being heard more? Can you just tell us, maybe Mr. Fungo? Yeah,
sure. Our council, the National Road Safety Council, is a creature of the law, which is called the Road Traffic Act of 1973. This very old law, or sometimes people call it CAP 168. Under Section 96 of that law, the council is created with an advisory role. Well, it was aimed to be a central authority to coordinate all the road safety matters in the country. But unfortunately, if you read how the law is crafted, you find that the council plays just an advisory role. It does not have biting teeth.
So,
yeah, because
is it right to say that you're just there, you just give the advice, but you cannot enforce?
We cannot enforce as a council, because the setup of the council is like this. The chair of the council is actually the Deputy Minister for Home Affairs. And then the other co-chair, the deputy chair, is the minister now, is the Minister for Transport, the Deputy Minister for Transport. Previously used to be the Deputy Minister for Works. And the council members are chosen from different stakeholders of road safety. And then the secretariat now for the council is the traffic division of the police force. So the commander, the national commander for the traffic, is the one who doubles as a executive secretary. So that is to say, the functions of the council are discharged by the police traffic division. So here you have got a systemic issue now, a structural issue. The police force reports to the IGP, to Inspector General, the Chief of Police. They have their hierarchy of reporting. We, as a council, do not have a direct mandate to make them accountable directly, because so we end up advising. Our role is to advise the government through the minister, the deputy minister who sits in the council, but the other way around is to advise the implementers, which is the police force. But on the other hand, it's like you can ask me, where is the headquarters of the National Road Safety Council? You'll be told that it is within the traffic division of the police force. And then the other question is this, that is this organ a public entity? Well, it's a public body, but does it have its own existence, the legal personality, such that it can sue, it can enter into contracts, whatever? If no, it's just a council, and if it wants to enter a contract, then it has to enter through the police force. It's not funded, so it has to find its own ways of surviving through the programs that are initiated. So the outcry always has been that no, actually, because road crashes is a cross-cutting issue, we need a stronger National Road Safety Council as other councils in the country. So if we have the National Road Safety Council as a strong coordinating institution, then we can say, okay, there is a pothole on the road.
Yes.
So we just request the department responsible for roads that within a certain period of time, we want that road, that hole sealed. But now we cannot, because he is not responsible to us as a council. Even the police will say, okay, we have accepted the advice, okay? So do they have the resources, or do they? Well, they report back to us, because we meet 4 times a year, and we have got the committees. One of the committee is a transport and accident committee. Then we have the education, publicity, and the training committee. And then we have the statistics and the research committee is there. But to put it openly, the council is just an advisory body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You have explained a lot about the council, and it is just the advisory body. Now let's talk about something else. People are saying, and there is a rising concern in the public, that government drivers, they're actually more involved in many accidents that are happening. And sadly, we have even seen that we have lost our leaders due to those accidents. What specific measures do the council take, maybe to advise, because you guys are saying advising, concerning this specific issue, because they're supposed to be a good example, and not just the drivers from the public institutions, but also we are seeing the boda drivers, the bajaji drivers. Like, there's a lot that is going on. What is your role in helping or advising the society in order to avoid these road safe accidents? Thank you.
As a council, and as Mr. Fungo just said, we are the advisory body. So what we have been advising the implementers, the enforcers who are the traffic police, and what has been done most of the time as a council is providing first education and awareness, because that is the #1 thing that lacks a lot. Most of us road users, we don't really know, and we are not really aware of our rights and responsibilities when it comes to the use of roads. And I would say the reason for that is roads are not something that we have found since when we have been growing up. Most of us, coming from our background, we just get used to the road, come to the use of the road when we've been growing up, coming to town, and even in school, very little we've been learning about road safety. then that adds to the reason why there is a lot of negligence when it comes to the use of road. We don't know how to use. When you go outside here, you will see how people are using the zebra crossing, how people are overtaking. Yes, even the government drivers. But again, most of them then comes back again to the enforcers. There's a number of stakeholders who are involved in the road use. The government driver driving a political leader or a leader from a certain institution is in a hurry, being called to go and quickly solve a certain matter, and the traffic police is on the road, and everyone has to report directly to the responsible institution. Now you'll see there'll be a conflicting issue there. But as Mr. Fungo said, if the council was an independent body that has the mandate to take matters and to take responsibilities and action towards road safety issues, maybe we could have been in a better position to deal with those who are recklessly driving, especially the government drivers, border riders, and bajajis. But again, I will come back again to the border riders. Most of these are young men from the age of teenagers and early 20s, drop out from school or from 4, standard 7 leavers. And we know, again, in school, this is not something that has been seriously taken into consideration. Our national curriculums in the education, Ministry of Education, does it have road safety as a serious topic as and taught to school as what we have been taught concerning HIV/AIDS?
And I want to ask there, from what you've just explained, have you guys maybe made the voice about this before, that we want the council to be independent so that we can just move from just advising about these issues so that we can take action?
Yeah, sure. And us being advisory doesn't mean that we just end up advising, we sit down and do nothing. Actually, we have taken several initiatives. One of the big initiatives that we have taken is to advocate or to propose for the amendment of the Road Traffic Act of 1973 to try to seal the holes, the gaps, or the inefficiencies of the law, because the law itself is very old. It has penalties which sometimes are 1,000. I can tell you that today, if you are knocked by a car, whether deliberate or not, if you go to court, despite the fact that you have been injured very much or your relative has died, you may end up paying a penalty or a fine imposed by the court, which is only 200,000 shillings. Okay? But again, so what did we do? We asked for the penalties to go up a bit, although we know this is a controversial matter. But secondly, we wanted the council itself to be restructured so that, because we have like 7 ministries and different departments directly responsible for road safety, so like we need a lead agency. But our efforts went to the extent that the bill for the amendment of the Road Traffic Act was read in Parliament on 30th June, I think, 2021. But since then, I think it was taken back from the Parliament due to certain comments by the parliamentarians. But that law has not gone back to the Parliament. So that means even if we have the police on the road, they want to take 10 measures against the recalcitrant drivers or whatever, they will not be able to do that because the law puts limitation upon them. The only thing that they'll be able to do is to take someone, put it in a remand for 2 or 3 days before taking. But this is unfair again. There is the other side of the justice system. So we think as a council, if this old Road Traffic Act is going to be reworked, amended to accommodate new things. Like for now, we have many drivers on the road that use mobile phones. By the time the law was in place, the mobile phones were not there. we are using landlines, but the law is silent on that. Even the amount of alcohol that is allowed in the law actually is above the prescribed limit for the WHO. Okay. So we can conclude that most of our drivers are driving drunk because the limits allows them to have more alcohol than what is recommended by the World Health Organization. But again, we have other risk factors that are not have not been well addressed. For instance, we have many the drivers carrying kids. For there, we need child restraints in the small cars, for instance. But the law is silent on that. But when it comes to speeding, the law about speeding, it just says, okay, the speed section, a certain section says the speed in the built-up area is will be 50 kilometers per hour, and then outside the built-up area is according to the traffic signs erected by the engineer-in-chief, and then outside where there is no, it's not built-up area, there is no traffic signs, then you can go to whatever speed you want. But now the question comes. Nowadays we have got the question of urbanization. Yes. Almost every place is built. Yes. So do we mean that a driver should drive 50 kilometers per hour from Dar es Salaam to Mwanza? But again, we want development. But
I want to ask something there. When you're talking about, yes, we are living now in urbanization, and there is the issue the drivers have to rush. I'm really curious, where did the story of speed limit end? Because
the governance.
Yes, the governance of it, because it was such a very good thing that was introduced. But where has the story ended?
Well, the law is there about it. It requires all the public service vehicles to install speed governors. And once upon a time, the government implemented that. Then we had the analog governors, which were easily temperable. So people tempered that, so the government said, oh, no, I think we should not enforce this because it's a lie. So there was an effort again to require the transporters to bring the vehicles that have speed governors. But I don't know what's happening. I think we are indecisive. Those who are supposed to say, yeah, from this time, they need to have speed governors. Then we have resorted to vehicle tracking system, which is being manned by the Land Transport Regulatory Authority, LATRA. But what the VTS, vehicle tracking system, does actually is to inform the driver, now you are exceeding, you are exceeding the limit. But again, it tells us about the conduct of the driver on the road. So even where there is a crash, you can trace back what was the behavior of the driver. But on the other hand, it helps the police because now they can see all the public service vehicles installed with the VTS. But the shortfall is that the VTS does not stop the driver from speeding.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Fungo, for that amazing explanation. Dear TBC One viewers, if you're just tuning in at the TBC One right now, the program on air is focused on this week, and today we are talking about road accidents in Tanzania. Ending road accidents in Tanzania, can it be a collective effort? And here we are joined with Mr. Fungo as well as Neema Swai from the council that deals with road safety in the country. Now coming to you, Ms. Neema Swai. In countries like Australia and other European countries and some African countries, drivers are not allowed to be driving while being on the phone. But if you come to Tanzania, you will see a driver being on the phone and they're just snapping or being on a phone call. In case that person will be told a bad news, maybe the person can get an accident. What do the laws speak about this thing in Tanzania?
Thank you, Ms. Caroline. Mr. Fungo clearly said the law speaks nothing about using mobile phone while driving in Tanzania. So that makes the law enforcers, the traffic police, not be able to effectively
do their job.
Yes, do their job well to those who are using mobile phone, even though there is this distractive driving. But again, coming to the law, the implication and the end result of the penalties and fine, they are not 100% equivalent to the amount of damage that this distractive driving can cause to the road users. Then again, we are coming back to the amendment of the Road Traffic Act. Without amending the Act, we won't move anywhere. That is why the Council have been calling upon the amendment of the Act every time. In every of our meeting, we are following up about where is the law now, where is the law reaching? Has it gone back to the Parliament? What is it be done? Because we know without that, we cannot move anywhere. But again, it's the road safety culture among the community. We need to have the culture of road safety. Growing up, some of us were not wearing shoes while walking. But after years of education and awareness about the importance of wearing shoes, now most of us, we use shoes even inside. In town, you can find that. So we really need to make sure that we introduce the road safety culture among our communities. And it has to be clearly explained, even by media. I will challenge you today as media personnel. Most of us, we only report the incidents, the crash when it happens, and it ends there. No follow-up news, no follow-up report on what happened. What are the results of that crash? Do we know how many people were left unhelped because of that crash? Do we know the number of dependent ratio that has increased in the country? Do the government really get communicated and responsible agencies get communicated about what are the end results of those crashes? Do the community get that awareness? Do we know how the number of unproductive force that is being produced as a result of crash? We don't know. When a crash happened, we're just being told, 28 people have been died. Do we know what does that mean beyond that? So that is something we need to work on. As media, we need to start follow-up news on that, not just reporting and we are done.
Yes.
But again, the road safety culture. We need to re-evaluate our curriculums in schools from kindergarten to high school. Are the road safety issues being really considered? Because we know how now the road safety and the road users have been increasing. The number of border being aware of road safety from their primary education, that when they grow up, finishing standard 7, they start using border.
Yes, can I ask something with what you just explained? What is the process for someone to get a license, maybe to own a border or a Bajaj or a car? I heard people are saying that you can just pay money and just get the license and that's it. What is the process?
For now, there's a clear process about that. Move away the issues that we know, the problem of corruption as it is everywhere in most African countries. But we know it is very clear that a driver must go to a driving school, be well trained, then after being well trained, go get tested and receive a license.
Is that a reality?
Again, that is a question for all of us, as we have said when you're starting. Road safety is something that all of us need to work on it. Is it a reality?
Yeah, in fact, a bit sort of interfering. You know, with the border and the Bajaj, the law, the procedure of creating awareness and putting a procedure in place came after the border are already there. So with border, we are not dealing with they getting a license through a bribe. But the problem is having made a border without driving license.
Yeah.
And why is that so? I think this is also another important thing that our members of parliament and others should consider. They made a wise decision. Well, a parliamentary decision is always a wise decision. That okay, they cannot pay 30,000 shillings, so we have to reduce their fine, the penalties to 10,000. That's what they pay. But again, the driving license is 70,000. You see, so that 70,000 makes it difficult for many borders to afford. Why? Because the law, one of the punishment in the law is that once you have violated certain offenses, the penalty is to withdraw to suspend your license. So what do you suspend from a person who doesn't have even even the license?
Yeah.
I think that's the problem rather than this problem of corruption. But again, we come back to the legal reform. We have the Motor Vehicle Driving Schools Act. This is a very old law, a small law, but this law has not been amended for a long time. So another problem why do we have as many crashes as possible is because the legal framework that governs on how the drivers are obtained is very weak, and in fact we don't have an independent institution to deal with the licensing of drivers only. The same police who tests a person and says, well, he is fit to drive. It's the same person who at the end of the day enforces on the road. And it's the same person who actually registers the driving schools and also because here we have another question. Do the driving school that we have meet the qualities?
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
Do we have the syllabus, the curriculum for basic driving? At least for this higher level, the PSV, public service vehicles, and for heavy goods vehicles, for the staff drivers, like VIP driving. There we have the curriculum from the NIT. So one of the things the council is doing now is to make sure we have the basic driving school curriculum, a proper curriculum, not a guideline. And then now we have directed the commander, the traffic commander, to make sure that there is a tight procedure, because we have enough drivers now. Then we have the tight procedure. Now the TRI, you see, they have got the system, at least thanks to the government.
Just like how the president said,
yes,
we have to tighten them.
Yes, and then another thing which we are trying to call for is using technology, reduce human interactions.
Can you tell us more on that?
Technologies like now, if one wants to get a driving license, doesn't need to go to TRI. It just log in the system, put in the details, he gets the control number. It's only testing he goes to the traffic police. So we need the systems to be integrated. The TRI system, police, the driving schools, all things to be in one platform, and then you only meet the police where it is necessary. But again, on the roads, why? Tell me a reason why don't we have cameras, for instance? Then, because if we have cameras that reports to the database, then we'll avoid so much these allegations of corruption, because these the workforce that now we use on the road, then will be deployed in other areas. Mbeya, for instance, I've been involved in investigating 3 crashes. This last crash that happened, that killed 28 people. You see, there were police stationed somewhere, and the police were just doing their jobs there. Then they, because there they alternate how the vehicles pass. So they allowed this truck to go. Knowing that, okay, the small trucks have gone. Then it happened, this Daladala driver stopped on the way. Instead of going directly, was just picking passengers, so delayed. Again, the truck driver, as he was descending, so he was reckless in himself. He said, the road is very clear. For them, they say, njia ni nyeupe. It's very clear. So he just descended with a high speed. Only to find suddenly that there is something on the road. He was trying to maneuver so that to escape from hitting that vehicle. Then it happened that he has to hit another vehicle, and then that went to. So if you had technology, if you had camera, then you would know that, okay, the other vehicles have all gone before we allow this one. So technology at the end of the day will help us a lot, because now it goes up to another pillar of safe system approach, safe vehicles, because now the vehicles will have driver-assisted technologies that will help to brake, or the sensors that will also allow the drivers to know what the risks are there. But the last one is that for the road environment. You know, one of the principles of the safe system approach tells us that human beings make mistakes and will always make mistakes.
Okay.
So if human beings make mistakes and they will always make mistakes, what should we do? Should we focus at reducing crashes, or we should focus at reducing the consequence of the crashes? That means the fatalities and the injuries. So the new systems, the new approach says we should focus at the reduction of fatalities, major fatalities and injuries, because the crashes will just happen. In Dar es Salaam, we have many crashes. Some of them do not involve any injury. So what should we do? The solution is roads must be forgiving. Cars must be forgiving. Forgive what? Forgive our mistakes. Because
What does that mean?
yeah, it's very strange if you hear that roads must be forgiving. You know, a driver is like a kid at your home. You know, when the kids are below 10 or below 5, and now this is the holiday season, they are very troublesome at home. Yeah. They'll be picking this, even if you put the rules, kids will still violate the rules. So what do? You remove the risks, the hazards, the things that may cause them to be harmed. Yes. You see? So you put them away. So when it comes to roads, also that should be the idea. You construct a wide road, maybe 7 meters, lane is 3.5. So it's become 7 meters wide. But you put the safety measures, which if the driver makes a mistake, maybe he's a bit asleep, he's dozing.
Why should the driver sleep?
Because they drive 1,400 kilometers from Dar es Salaam so they get tired. So when they are tired, because it's human nature to get tired, then you have certain safety features, like if you drive along Kawa Road, they'll make you awake. And then for places like Kitonga, and then you have got what they call the escape lanes. So there are many, it has been proved scientifically, if you redesign the road, if you improve the road, then you are likely to reduce the number of crashes significantly, which we don't do. We have just started doing it. And the roads must be, safer roads should be 3-star and above. We classify them, we have 3-star road, 4-star road, 5-star road, the best one. Same as to vehicles. We have got the 2-star vehicle, 3-star, 5-star vehicle. But because we do not make vehicles, so we influence the makers of the vehicles outside there through the global car assessment programs. So they are forced to make the vehicles to standard. So a good example is that if you are in a Mercedes-Benz, and if you are in a small saloon car, with only 2 airbags. This one I've got 16 airbags, and you find yourself in a crash at a 70 kilometers per hour. Who is likely to die? The one in this small saloon car, Carina, or the one in the Mercedes-Benz? Actually, the small car. Yes. Why? Because the way it has been built, it has few safety features.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Fungo. You have explained a lot. Now going to Ms. Nema, can you tell us, some people say that road safety is associated to politics, and politics influence road safety. Now we are heading towards the election period. Do you think politics influence road safety?
Yes, I will say it influences, because actually politics is everything that involves people in our daily activities. Everything is politics. So the decisions that are made, the act for the Road Safety Act is made by politicians, the parliamentarians. So in all ways, we cannot escape that, yes, road safety has to do with politics. But what then should we do as citizens? But what should politicians also do? We all need to make sure that we follow the laws. Only that, we don't need much.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Fungo, what do you think?
Yeah, road safety is a public health concern, but it's also a political aspect. With the political aspect, it has got political interests in there. That's why it's not easy to work with road safety. Why? Because some people who are dying, like in our country, they are the voters. In these campaigns, when the campaign period starts, you'll find like many contestants for various positions will be using, for instance, the border borders. And then you find the contestant himself is not wearing a helmet. and is not even asking them, okay, be careful. Okay, so that is a political aspect. But another political aspect is that if you hear from police, this has been a complaint of police. Actually, it's very open that whenever we arrest the boda for violation of the offense, it is considered like, no, actually, tunaonea. We are not being fair to them. Okay, we are not being, even if the directives and the law is very clear. Yeah. So, but again, like as Nema said. Those who decides that we should have a good law, we should have stiffer penalties. At the end of the day, they are the politicians who are in the parliament. So that's why we continue doing advocacy to them, so that they understand the gravity or the magnitude of the problem, so they can understand our plea that the law should actually address the emerging or the current issues that affect the nation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fungo. Coming back to you, Neema, can you tell us, does Tanzania take the issue of road safety seriously, the government itself? Because with all the things that you're explaining, and if we take into consideration the fact that there's an increase in road accidents, does our government or our country take the issue seriously compared to other East African countries or SADC countries?
I think, and I will say this loud, with what the president just said the couple of days, it means even the top leader now have started to see the impact of road safety. Sometimes you don't feel the burden or see the burden of something until it hurts you bad. Now, for a long time, as Tanzanian, we have been laying behind seeing the magnitude of the problem. But I believe from what has been happening recently, everyone now, in one way or another, has started to be affected by road safety. So now it's time that we take road safety seriously. By doing what? Now we need to start reviving the law. Where is it from? What is making it to be delaying, not being amended and taking into action? What makes the council not to have power to implement its responsibilities? Why not the law enforcers being able to start working on it? And this is the time. These are our voters now who have been dying and who are at risk. As we are going to the general election, it's time for every citizen now to start questioning their representatives. We have our roads around, we have roads everywhere. What are the representative doing for those roads around? If you have a certain issue like in Mbalizi, it's time now to start engaging your representative about what measures should be taken. And now I think, yes, it is getting a time that now we have to do like what other countries are doing in East Africa, for example, Rwanda. Without hitting around the bush, what Rwanda is doing is enforcing the law. That's it.
Thank you so much, Neema. What Rwanda is doing is enforcing in the laws. Mr. Fungo, what do you have to say in that?
Yeah, I took time to hear what the president said 2-3 days ago. We wanted that affirmative statement from the president, and I'm not sure whether the people behind the president, especially us as those who act, have understood the statement. The statement was very strong, calling for affirmative, stern measures to curb the traffic crashes. So that statement by itself shows seriousness.
Yes.
And if you see every time the crash happens, the president will be giving a condolence, and then he'll be giving a small line directing, requesting the calling for the authorities to act. So it may be the problem that the authorities now are not interpreting well what the president wants. But if you hear from what the president said, then you say, okay, this government is serious doing that. And from the budget speech that has just been read 2 weeks ago, you find that there are deliberative efforts that the government wants to take, like the smart cities project or whatever. But then the problem, I think, it can be prioritization, resources, but again, other people being aware, seeing how big is the problem. I think people see that the problem is big only at that time when the crash has happened. After it passes sometimes, then we forget. when it is very calm,
Such a sad reality.
Yeah, we forget. And until, like now, everyone is remembering about Mbeya, and you see, after incidents like that, we get invited to various media stations. What do we have to say about this? But when it is quiet, everyone is silent on that. I think we should be awake every time. Yeah.
And that's why, because you spoke something about the media, and Ms. Nema had said something about the media, that's why we have road safety specific programs. Even here at TBC, we have them to ensure that we educate the society on the issue. So now we are where we are. We have seen the president's strong affirmation on the topic, on the issue. How do we move from here? How do we make sure that the president has said something, had made sure that this, had said and showed that this is a very important thing. So how do we make sure that the implementers make action and do something to end road accidents? Okay,
we have, last year, we launched the National Road Safety Strategy. This was launched by the Vice President in Dodoma. That strategy is a comprehensive strategy that addresses the system. Now, what we have to do is every government department or ministry responsible for road safety to take their responsibility, read the document, see what the document, because that's a policy document, what the document directs them to do. If it's the Minister of Education, then they have to give priority to training and public awareness to kids. If it's the Ministry for Health, then the post-crash aspect, they have to make sure the hospitals or whatever, their facilities, the doctors, they are prepared. Thanks to the Minister of Health, because almost in every district now, we have got the emergency department. So we have got the emergency medicine. And thanks to the government, as in the road, this major road network, at least we have got the ambulance. We need to add more ambulance. We need to add more centers which can respond to traffic crashes. But when it comes to the road authorities, then they have to embrace the safe systems approach, improve our roads to 3-star. So that the roads forgives our mistakes. And for the traffic division, they have to enhance motor vehicle inspection. We know that there is a project coming, which is a mandatory vehicle inspection. I think it will be launched at the end of this year or early next year by the Tanzania Police Corporation, SOL. Now, inspection will be done through by machine, the technologies, not this manual, because surely in that, if we continue doing manually, then we are failing a big time. So if we do that...
Can I ask something on that?
Yeah.
Because you spoke about inspections of boda.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about inspecting the cars, inspecting, is that thing a reality? Are the cars and the bodas being really inspected, or is it really being done, or people are just paying money to be inspected?
No, at the moment we have got challenges. For instance, the number of traffic vehicle inspectors we have in the country does not match with the number of vehicles we have. If you go to the TRI database, you find that we have got more than 3 million vehicles. So how many vehicle inspectors do we have? Maybe they are below 5,000 countrywide. So even like, if we say, okay, all vehicles owners should line up to the police in the police stations for inspection. If they all come, they respond without hesitation, you'll see nothing will take place at the police, because everyone will be busy with the vehicles because they will be everywhere. So that one by itself makes us like it tells us that we failed to inspect all the vehicles. That's why we have got these allegations. And to solve that problem, that's why we have gone for technology-driven vehicle inspection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we really need that technological vehicle inspection thing in the country. Now, I think we should go to our final question. Now, coming to Ms. Nema Swai, can you tell us, from what we have seen, the crisis is big. I think there's a need for collaborative effort, and I think that's what is missing. The citizens need to play their role. we cannot now keep on saying, oh, you know, I didn't get this education in school. Of course, we did civics and we were told something about road safety. So we cannot blame the government. We cannot keep on blaming. And the government is also having a role to play. So can you explain the significance of a collaborative effort between all these entities so that we make sure that we end road accidents, or at least reduce them? By next year, when we speak about the topic, it should be a different story.
Thank you. Actually, to add on that, do you know that in some countries they are very way ahead of us? They have zero, their ambition is to have zero accidents in a country. It means that it is achievable. It is possible. How? It's by what Mr. Fungo was explaining. Do the safe system approach, having roads that are forgiving, every responsible agents. And in Tanzania now, last year, during the National Road Safety Week, we launched the National Road Safety Strategy. And it explained every detail of and every responsible agents what needs to be done. So if all of us, every agency and institution get involved into that and we be accountable for that, then we will move a step ahead.
Thank you so much. Now, if every agency, every institution takes action, then we'll move ahead. Speak to the Tanzanians. There are those boda young people who are not taking the issue serious. Just speak to the Tanzanians.
Yeah, it's this is a double-sided sword. So apart from the government and its agency and the law, I think I urge all the motorcyclists, all the pedestrians, the drivers to understand, to appreciate that road safety is a shared concern. And the road safety, road crashes affect everyone. So if everyone understands that he is prone to be affected by road crash at every time, then everyone is duty bound to regulate his or her conduct on the road. So my dear boda riders, we love you so much. We want you to understand that the only way to fulfill your dreams is to remain alive, is to remain safe. And road safety, actually, the crashes, they are the ones that kill a lot of people globally. Now it's 1.9 million people dying on the road. And unfortunately, in Africa, we have got only 1% of all vehicles in the world. We are leading in terms of crashes. We as a council, we have tried our best to reduce the number of crashes. From in 1990s, actually, we had 20,000 crashes, 10,000 crashes. Last year, we had 1,735 crashes, killing 1,715. We want to go by half, even zero. But at least to start with, we said we want to meet a global target, because which says by 2030, halve the number of crashes, deaths, and injuries by 50%. Yeah, that's where we are heading. So if everyone behaves on the road and understand that, you have to understand that your actions and your omissions can either harm you or can harm others. Otherwise, if everyone's conduct on the road is safe, then we can all be safe.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fungo. Do we see a green light ahead? That the vision that we have for 2030, do you think we can achieve it? Do we see a green light that is going to be implementable? Mr. Fungo.
Yes, we do not see real green light because we have started late. But at least we can achieve at least maybe 70% reduction of traffic crashes, or even 80%. Not 100%, because the strategy, for instance, was just launched last year. We have just been doing efforts which are not real coordinated, because we have had 6-month plan, 1-year plan, like that. But with the plans that are in place, for instance, the mandatory vehicle inspection, the implementation of the motor vehicle, the driver license point system. That you are tickets for 30,000, but you are given also a point. So if you reach 15 points, then automatically you are banned from driving. And with the cameras and the facilities that the government is going to implement, we are seeing at least the light at the end of the tunnel that we will reach at least 75% reduction.
Okay, that's indeed a green light that at least we'll be able to reach the 75%, as he's saying. Dear TVC1 viewers, thank you so much for watching us. The program on air was focused on this week, and today we discussed about the road accidents in Tanzania. Can a collective action end the crisis? And we were joined with Mr. Augustus Fungo from LATRA, but also with Ms. Neema Swai from a representative from Road Safety Organization, but all of them are members of the National Road Safety Council. Thank you so much for your time. Much emphasis has been made on collaboration between the government, the citizens, and every actor to take actions to end road accidents so that in the future we'll be able at least to achieve 0% deaths in the country. Leading the program, I was your presenter, Caroline Maleo. See you next Wednesday at the same time and on the same day. Bye-bye.